Reasoning is a mode of thinking, and math and language are related. Here is one example. Halley's Comet is a comet that you can see from Earth every 75 to 76 years. It is the only comet that is visible without telescope from Earth. Halley last appeared in 1886 and will next appear in 2061. If you use reinforcement learning, you might learn the years of Halley's appearance by accumulating rewards. By learning the years 1758, 1834, 1910, and 1986, even a multi-level neural net learns a pattern. You do not need a reinforcement learner for this task. Level 1 of the multi-level net or the reasoning net says Halley appears in the years blah blah blah. Level 2 says a comet appears every 75 to 76 years. For level 3, and of course for the connection of all levels, we need a reinforcement learner with an environment, an action, and a state. The multidimensional neural net processes the reinforcement learner. The movement of the planet or comet in space is a travel that takes time. Assume that the comet travels, but you cannot see it at this point of time. A state is connected with a point of time or multiple points of time. So it takes several points of time and space until you can see the comet. The state rather exists in a time interval that at one specific point of time. We call the state with this property position state. Now the comet is on its way, and during a specific time frame the comet is visible from Earth. You can see the comet from Earth. You can even see it without a telescope. And this is the state we need for reinforcement learning. And here's the reasoning behind the way the comet travels. If two regions are not in touch with each other at moment t1, the comet and another celestial body are far away from each other, and hopefully this won't change. Let's assume that the comet and the other celestial body partly cover each other at moment t2. If t1, that is the moment when both bodies are far away from each other, takes place before t2, that is the moment when both bodies partially cover each other, then there must be a moment t that exists between the moments t1 and t2. This presupposes that t2 happens later than t1. At this moment t, two regions are in external touch with each other. They do not overlap, but they are directly next to each other. Every statement a politician, a lawyer, or a physicist makes is related to reasoning. Often, the relation is very loose, and in the case of politicians, the fallacy is often more important than the correct logical structure. Reasoning even plays a role in everyday life situations. To teach an AI model to process language and math, you process multiple partial tasks successively by using parallel learning techniques. Multiple learners that depend on each other, support each other, and learn these tasks. The learning procedure accumulates and generalizes the knowledge. The disadvantage of this form of computing is that the computer requires much processing power. The advantage of a parallel computation is that the procedures on different levels are directly connected. If we solve a language task, we use symbols to represent the meaning. Even numbers are symbols that are meaningless without context. Random numbers like 5, 8, 6, or 1 do not make any sense. Only in context with operators we attribute a specific meaning. Operators can be if, then, plus, minus, and so on.